Hello and welcome everybody to World of Racing. We are racing around Mount Fuji this evening in definitely not a Ferrari. Track length of 2.8 miles, founded in 1965, reopened in 2005. We're in the Oyama Prefecture of Japan at the foothills of Mount Fuji, Japan's tallest mountain, about 100 kilometers southwest of Tokyo. We got 16 corners, 7 to the left, 9 to the right, which is 131 feet of elevation change. Track is owned by Toyota, and the circuit has naturally had a rivalry with the Honda-owned Suzuka, and today counts for all the major domestic championships as regular visitors. Some fun facts about Mount Fuji and the Fuji Speedway. Of course, you're going to have Mount Fuji in the backdrop. The track offers one of the most iconic views in motorsports with Fuji Mountains in the background, and we'll see that a few times throughout the race. One of the longest straights in the world, with a straight of 1.5 kilometers or 9.93 miles long, perfect for high-speed action and overtakes. At the conclusion of qualifying, it'll be Andrew at the top of the charts, followed by Aaron, Michael, Lavelle, Roman, Tyler, the Aces, Christopher, Jacob, Jonathan, Robert, Timothy, Miguel, Avery, Corbin, Chris, Eli, and of course we have the safety car start for all of these 2.4-hour endurance events. This is going to be a great show with 3 drivers all within a tenth of each other. 2 tenths back we have Lavelle, the 4 tenths back we have Roman, 6 tenths back is Tyler, and then best of the rest, the Aces 1 second adrift. Eli getting to the line. This is going to be a 1:43 plus lap. Won't be good enough to improve their time at all as the drivers pull out of pit lane to get their final practice in for just a moment. I think that's going to do it for the qualifying session. Just a few moments, we will get the drivers situated and gridded up before we get the race going. Checking out these cars, they're definitely not Ferraris, that's for sure. The Ferrano car, brought to you by VSC. No, excuse me, these are RSS cars, Race Sim Studios vehicles. Optimum track right now, 26 degrees Celsius is the ambient, 36 degrees Celsius is the track temperature, 14 kilometers per hour crosswind coming down the start-finish straightaway. I wonder how that's going to affect the slipstream at all, if any calls will be called off leading down in towards turn 1 for the overtaking opportunity. Shouldn't affect them too much as far as the crosswind is concerned, but maybe through some of the twistier bits around the track coming through the backside like the old hairpin. Curious to see how the drivers end up faring. Take a look at this grid that we have of cars. We have in the number 21, Andrew. In the 51, that'll be Aaron. Then we have Michael in 3rd place right now, driving the number 2. Lavelle in the other number 21. Roman in the sparkle liveried car. Tyler in the Spider-Man looking livery, the number 69 for Verstappen.com Racing. The Aces driving for Airnet, the number 54. Christopher in the number 14, blacked out as can be, the number 15. Tiger striped Ferrari of Jacob. Jonathan in 10th position, driving the number 7 Race Sphere car. Robert, the number 16. Timothy in the number 3. Avery in the number 13. Miguel in the 51. Corbin in the number 51. Chris in the 54. Eli in the 54. And of course we have our safety car for the evening. 4:15 will be the race start, folks. We're going to take a quick intermission and be right back. Stand by when we come back for World of Racing 2.4 hours of Fuji. Thank you so much for staying tuned. We'll see you in a few moments. Hello and welcome back, everybody, to the Fuji Raceway. Brought to you by World of Racing. We are at the Fuji Speedway, of course, driving the Ferrari. It's a Ferrari. Let's just say that. It's the Ferrari 296 Evo. We'll settle that right now. Lovely IMSA banners along these cars. We've got 17 drivers taking to this wonderful grid tonight around a track that has basically 16 corners, 7 to the left, 9 to the right, 131 feet of elevation change. This is going to be Fuji. We've got famous corners like Coca-Cola 100R, the hairpin, Panasonic corner, and of course, the 0.93 mile long straightaway. We have lots of racing action coming at you, and we've got some very familiar names that you know and love from World of Racing. We have the Aces, Jacob, Jonathan, Robert, Timothy, Avery, Miguel, Corbin. So many fantastic drivers participating and getting involved, and I believe the grid is just getting set. We will have a safety car start coming at you in just a few moments' time. So without any further delay, let's head right over to the trackside and see the lights go out. And the lights are out, and the safety car will come out from the back of the pack to pick up the entire field. Andrew out in P1 right now, next to Aaron on the front row of the grid. Then we have Lavelle and Roman on row number 2. Row number 3 will be Tyler and the Aces. Row number 4 will be Christopher and Jacob. Then Jonathan and Robert, Timothy, Avery, Miguel, Corbin, Chris, and Eli rounding out the pack of the field. Lots of very close times up at the front, the tip of the spear. First 5 separated by half a second. We're up to 1 second back, down to 7th place. But then the rest of the field, Christopher and Andrew separated by 30 thousandths of a second between 7th and 8th position. Further down, we have 0.4 of a second between P8 and P11 down to Robert. Then you have 2 second gaps plus further down. And I'll say it before, I've said it before, and I'll say it again. I'll keep on saying it time and time again. It really doesn't matter about your outright pace in qualifying during these 2.4 hour events. It really matters how much consistency you can develop over the 2.4 hours, showcasing your ability to deal with overtaking other cars, unlapping yourself, lapping other vehicles on the grid. and your racecraft overall. The drivers getting formed up 2 by 2 right now. Noah's Ark formation, of course. Andrew controlling the grid coming through Panasonic corner, and he will let us know when it's time to take the green light. I believe he's going to wait as long as possible before he gets going. A little bit of weaving on the straight before he gets rolling, and he catches Aaron by surprise. Single file line now. He's got a large gap behind him. We're going to go 2 by 2 all the way down the front straightaway in towards turn 1, it would seem. Michael right neck and neck with Lavelle. Safety car falls back on the timing tower. Let's go 3 wide in towards Dai Chi. Michael on the outside line trickles back a little bit further as he runs off to the runoff area. He's going to go side by side now with Roman, I believe. And Roman might actually be able to get that move done and dusted. Oh, and someone turned in a little too early and chopped Michael's nose right off. Unfortunately, Lavelle able to catch back up with Aaron, but Andrew's already up the road by a second before we got to the hairpin corner. Looking back at Jacob now, he is in a heat of a moment battle with Christopher. Looking at the way that Christopher is posturing himself, bumping and banging on the rear end, locks up the brakes, goes clear across the track, takes out the aces in the meanwhile. Holy Toledo. Couple of wheels stuck on the grass is what caused that incident to take place from Jacob's point of view. And then he was just a loose cannon after that. Nowhere to go but skidding out of control. Timothy trying to go the long way around at Panasonic past the aces on their recovery drive now. Unfortunate for them, an innocent bystander as they were just taking the apex. Had no idea that that missile was coming out of nowhere. Roman and Tyler getting side by side down the start-finish straightaway, leading down towards Dai Chi. Who's going to outbrake whom going down in towards turn 1. It looks like Roman falls back. Tyler goes forward. But the battle's not over just yet. Continuing their side-by-side entanglement through Coca-Cola corner. Jacob chasing down Robert, who's gained a couple positions from the start of the race, up into 7th now. Looks for a move on the inside line on Robert. Jacob does, but has a big moment. Slip, trip, and fall there at the hairpin, getting on the accelerator and loses the rear end. The aces, Jonathan, now getting involved in a sticky situation at Dunlop corner as the aces have PTSD from what they saw earlier on in the race, having been taken out just out of nowhere. They get through that corner just fine this time around, but they don't get through nets very easily. Mount the sausage curbs and unsettle the car quite substantially, losing all that time that they had gained. Miguel's pointed the wrong direction at Net's corner. Who knows what could have caused that? Roman chasing down Tyler. The battle for P4 and P5 rages on. Goes all the way down to the pit wall. Now he's going to give a hip check and a squeeze to Tyler, moving him over to the racing line, outbraking his opponent going in towards Dai Chi, hugging the inside line. We'll get the move secured for sure. Cutting across the track, looks like Tyler wants a piece of the pie right back, but can't come to grips with it through Coca-Cola curve. It's Roman over Tyler for now. We should have mandatory pit stop requirements here for the Fuji Speedway race. It'll be interesting to find out what the drivers decide to do with that strategy. Some drivers choosing to take tires and fuel for every stop. Other drivers potentially only taking a few liters of fuel at the end. Keeping an eye on the timing tower, Corbin and Jacob, the battle for 13th and 14th, getting a little spicy there. Will Christopher and Robert try to invert their positions again? No, that's actually the Aces getting involved in this now, just walking right on by. And it seems to be that inside line headed towards Daiichi is the optimum line to be on to get these overtakes secured. Your opponent just unable to retort in any way through Coca-Cola curve. They're single file, but just barely, as the car behind of Christopher crosses over the sausages just a little bit. Miguel, I believe that's okay. I thought he was in pit lane for just a moment, but no, he is not. Checking out Christopher's car, the all black Ferrari. What about Avery and Michael leading down in towards Dunlop corner? Avery on the inside in the red, white, and blue machinery, trying to find his way by Michael. Didn't do it on that occasion. Still looking for an opportunity, though. If he's not careful, Jacob will catch back up to this pack, and he wasn't careful at all. Running a little deep and wide, coming through nets. And up the hill through Panasonic, he's still managing to hold on, but just barely. And he probably will lose this position to Jacob from behind. Robert and the Aces now converting their positions. Jacob has a great run coming out of Panasonic. He can put the squeeze on Michael if he wanted to, and then move back over to the racing line, coming down towards turn one. They're still going to maintain their spacing, but it looks like Jacob has this one done and dusted pretty successfully. Robert leads the charge over Christopher, but not the case for the Aces. The Aces leading over Robert. And I expected Andrew to walk away with this one with the times that he was setting, but Aaron and Lavelle are doing a great job of keeping in contention. 1.5 the gap to the leader, 1 second back is Lavelle. If Lavelle can actually get that gap to under 1 second, as he's working at right now, he should be able to get within slipstream range and hopefully get a drag from Panasonic all the way down towards Daiichi. All these drivers giving it their heart right now, pushing what they can. Switch up between Michael and Timothy, leading down into Coca-Cola curve. Timothy is trailing Michael, separated by 0.4 of a second, and we'll see these gaps slinky throughout the course of the race. coming apart and coming back together again as the drivers get settled into their pace and consistency. Check back in with Robert and the Aces leading down in towards Dunlop Corner. Robert a little tighter going in towards Dunlop. He's going to carry a lot more speed up the hill. Does that give him any advantage into Panasonic? A little bit of a tank slapper for Robert, but he keeps it collected. The Aces go really wide at Net's corner, and they're going to lose that position. Perhaps the pressure just got to them eventually. Rejoins the track safely, and now are behind Christopher and in a sandwich between Jonathan and Christopher. 138.4, 138.5, 138.7 for the leaders. And then we're into the 139s for the rest of the field. 139.1, 139.1. 140, 139.8 from Christopher. So Christopher being out of position right now, as well as Michael, showing that they're a little bit faster than the drivers around them, at least on those previous laps. Jacob with a 146, obviously having a huge incident on that one. 140 for Avery. Then Corbin and Michael, 140.6, 140.1. Miguel should be able to catch up to Corbin here. Yes, he is glued all over the rear end at Dai Chi. But we all know catching is one thing, passing is a completely different ball game, folks. So will Miguel be able to get this overtake done sooner rather than later? Here's to hoping that he can catch back up, but it looks like Corbin has found his consistency and rhythm, as the gap has not fluttered away from around that half second. Let's check back in with the Aces, Christopher and Jonathan. Pit stop call already for one team. That'll be Tyler and Christopher making their pit stops at 2:11. I wonder what that strategy is all about. Perhaps finding the clean air is more important to them than staying in their pack battle racing that they're doing. And there's a big slide from Robert, and they just split him like a pig. Amazing heads-up display from everybody around Robert as he was stuck in the middle of the racetrack. The Aces and Jonathan both having to take evasive maneuvers to avoid colliding with him. Through 300R, the Aces lead over Jonathan. And through Dunlop, same situation. But Michael is 7/10 back and closing. The more these two battle it out, the more that they will continue to keep fighting and slowing each other down. Be a tremendous victory for the Aces to make their way through the grid. Let's check out the losses and gains. Andrew, Aaron, Lavelle, and Roman all down pit lane now. Andrew, Aaron, Lavelle, and Roman pitting at 2:10. That promotes the Aces up into 6 positions gained, first place overall currently. Very, very interesting. Handful more pit stops coming out. Jonathan, Avery, Jacob, Robert, Corbin, Miguel. Oh, now here we go. A bit of a mistake from the aces now. And it looks like the aces and Michael will both come down pit road. That should be able to promote Andrew back up into P1, and it does as he crosses the line with a 146.9. Michael, Timothy, and the aces. Very short, basically 20-minute stints for all the drivers coming through the first pit stop cycle. Interested to see how this ends up faring out for everybody. There are mandated pit stop requirements, so maybe this is a strategy that the drivers have tried before and has worked out well for them. Perhaps now they'll know more than ever what their cars are capable of, and perhaps be able to take a little bit more fuel load and push these tires that much harder on these outlaps. But we're bound to see some significant change on the leaderboard as Corbin goes round right before Panasonic. And it looks like he is able to recover and get the car moving in a straight line once more. So perhaps not too much damage to this Ferrari 296 Evo. One of the things we hadn't talked about is the car itself. 2.9 liter V6 machinery. Of course, made by Ferrari, as this car is modeled after that vehicle. Released back in April of 2024, part of the GT Pack 2. And I must say the RSS team did a great job with the audio, and they did a fantastic job with the modeling of the vehicle itself. Engine sounds absolutely supreme, as well as the visual aesthetics. So fantastic work from the RSS team to provide this vehicle. Checking out Andrew and his 10-second lead over Michael. And Lavelle 1.5 seconds back. Roman in the number 21, 1.1 after that. 9/10 of a second will be Aaron, Tyler, Christopher, the Aces, Timothy, and Jacob. Definitely seems like, Corbin is pulled over. I believe he'll let the leader by. Gentlemanly thing to do. Realized that wasn't his race to fight. Pulled over as the back marker and was effective to do such. Battle between Jacob and the Aces will continue to rage on. Come through Coca-Cola curve. Three-tenths down to the separation. Slinking back up to around half a second before we get to the braking zone. Jacob out here pushing hard as he can. Some drivers being very brave and all hands on deck, others being a little bit more cautious. And I think that might be the way to go, especially in an endurance race. You have to play the 90% games. You have to be 90% ready for this. You have to be 90% ready for that. I think some drivers have done a lot more preparation than others for this event, understanding what the vehicle is capable of doing. Driving the car offline, perhaps driving at braking zones a little bit differently than you would normally approach them to get that feel of what it would be like to overtake another vehicle. Jacob finding exploratory track limits there on lap 13 of this 2.4 hour race. Looks like Robert just came down pit road. Last lap around was a 2:14. Let's see if he gets spun up and rolling out again. Looking at Jacob. Well, let's switch over to the battle between Eli and Miguel here. 0.3 of a second separating the two drivers. Miguel on the inside line, dragging it the long way around the outside now through 300R. Into Dunlop. A little bump in the rump there to the number 54 sends Timothy or Eli a little bit wide, and they're going to continue their side-by-side fanfare up the hill into nets. It'll be single file for just a brief moment until Avery says he wants a piece of the pie. Looks like Timothy may have got pushed a little wide there. No contact, of course, but just physically ran out of space on the exit road. Number 51 trails the 54. Then we have the 13 getting involved. Oh. And we're seeing some interesting pit stop calls. Eli down into pit road. On board with Lavelle now as we approach turn one. Lavelle chasing down Michael. 0.7 of a second is the gap that we're looking at. Can he set this one up from a long way back? Definitely not here at the hairpin curve. Closing down that gap to 0.4 of a second. Miguel chases down Avery. The red livery belonging to Miguel. The white livery belonging to the number 13 of Avery. Side by side down start finish straightaway leading towards turn one. We've seen that inside line be optimal for getting the move done, and it looks like that move will be done and dusted. Avery getting past Miguel leading down and towards turn one. Looking for a move. Aaron and Roman now. Focus, concentration, and the battle for speed. We've said that inside line can work so well for these overtakes leading down into Daichi. Were unable to find the gap that existed. It was closing rather quickly. Definitely not a issue there. Avery and Michael side by side down the start finish straight and working their way up towards the podium. Those champagne drinkers are going to be Michael, Andrew, and Lavelle for now, as gaps open up to around 12.5 seconds between Tyler and Lavelle. Avery out of this race now, I would imagine. As he kisses the wall, we'll probably have to save an armor for the best. Avery 5.2 back from Robert. Looking at the closer battles on the racetrack. Oh no, Timothy! The driver 22 seconds back from the other packs of drivers. Finds himself in a predicament there, and so does Miguel. Driver who was doing so well in this first half of the race, now falling apart a little bit towards the middle. Now, when does lap traffic start becoming a thing? We've already had the leader pass lap traffic. When is this giveth, when does this taketh away situation? Pit stop for Michael on lap 18. And it may look like This is in the bag for Andrew now, barring any major 20-second plus mistakes. Again, this is the part of the race where things get a little bit quieter. How long we have to race, and these are serious contenders here with World of Racing. They are no joke at all. Crisscross applesauce leading down in towards turn 1. Love the way that these cars sound. Absolutely fantastic stuff. I believe next round of pit stops should be coming up here shortly. When Andrew decides to control the field to let them through pit lane. Bell continues to push. 13 seconds off. Dude. Jacob and the Aces now. Big off from Roman driving number 21. He is from Italy. And Timothy pirouettes his car just pitch perfectly. Who would recover if you get tires under it? Under 150 remaining on the clock, everybody. Jacob trails the Aces. I wonder how long he's going to maintain this formation before he tries to go for a move. We'll watch the timing tower on the left when the last lap pops up. .139, 140.0. Rowan comes down pit lane for his second of the night at 149.
And again, possibly looking for a strategy call to help him win the race. Six tenths now between Jacob and the Aces. Now we're on board with the bell as the pit stop done is taken care of. Impressive how Andrew was able to gain all that time during the first pit stop phase to get a 10-second gap over the rest of the field. Wonder what Jedi mind tricks he's playing. Not taking tires, maybe that was just a dummy strategy. Try to get others hooked on it as well before moving on. Here we go. Andrew crosses the line. That'll be the 22nd lap of completion for him. Lavelle, 14.8 seconds adrift. Then 9 seconds back will be Tyler, Aaron, Christopher, Jacob, the Aces, and then Michael, Roman, and Timothy. Second pit stop of the night for Tim also. Jonathan, Avery, both into pit lane. Jacob now into pit road. Does look like people are chopping this race out into fourths. 3 brief stops for fuel and tires along the way. Big gaps through and through the field. As I said, due to the pit stop calls, we're going to slinky to and fro away from each other and then back together again. Especially when we get to the last 10, 15 minutes or so. I should say. The Aces, there's a team name that has been unfamiliar to me up until tonight. I haven't seen them participate in any other World of Racing Championships. Good debut for them coming out and showing up in P7 for now. Christopher heads down pit road, the number 14.
The aces get rolling behind Michael by 1.2 seconds. Christopher tumbles down into P7 after that last pit stop phase. Roman and Christopher. Roman and Christopher invert their positions very briefly. Roman still manages to stay ahead of Christopher through the Dunlop corner, up the hill through nets. Looking for where the action is brewing. We're looking at the timing tower on the left-hand side. No gap really within 1 second of another, except for Jacob and Christopher. Here it is, the battle between Jacob and Christopher, separated by 0.7 of a second. Roman right ahead. Taking a look again at the lap times as they trickle on through. P3 and 2 crossing the line, 139.9. And then Aaron, 140.177. They're nearly identical lap times, especially when the drivers are about to approach lap traffic for the very first time of asking. Gaps opened up to 1.2 seconds between Christopher and Roman. Battle for a 7th and 8th. Hovering right there. 150.8, 150.5. A half-second drop per lap. Holy Toledo. Big pirouette from Jacob. Falls back to 9th position overall. The driver was pushing very hard as he approached 100R. Barely able to keep the car balanced beneath it at this point in the race. We are officially on lap 27. And like I said, 138 remaining on the timing tower. Still able to keep pushing.
up the inside line. On the way to Dunlop, the drivers are single file. Trying to keep focused on that timing chart on the left-hand side of your screen. Watching out for any gaps that pop up that are within 1 second. It looks like Christopher and Bowman. Now we're gonna go wheel. Really late on the brakes from Christopher, leading down in towards Dai Chi. Keeps the car balanced and protected as he approaches turn 1. Eight-tenths the gap between Christopher and Roman now. Looks like Andrew walking away with this one pretty successfully. 14 minutes on the clock. 14 minutes remaining. Oh no, Corbin. Big slip, trip, and fall. Where are we on the racing circuit? Coming down the main straight, if I'm not mistaken. Does go back to pit lane. Have to find a way by the car ahead if you want any chance of a podium. One the gap. Red man. No, excuse me, Christopher. Thought that was Roman, excuse me. Roman leads over Christopher. 9/10 of a second between the two drivers. And all is quiet on the eastern front now. Big gaps separating the field. Who's that coming down pit road? That'll be Aaron and Tyler, both of them coming down pit road pretty early with 1:32 left on the clock. Big drift there. Andrew making his second stop of the evening. Lavelle, Michael. There's Lavelle coming down pits. Beautiful heli shot here. As we haven't seen more shots of Mount Fuji in the background. As I so promised earlier on in the broadcast, we haven't seen Mount Fuji quite nearly as I would like. There. Slow to get rolling out of pit lane. That's Miguel. Interesting. There's Mount Fuji in the background. We are literally nestled in the foothills of it. Back to the battle between Roman and Christopher. 1.1 the gap. And it looks like Christopher is managing that one pretty well. Avery half second away from Miguel. Now for 11th and 12th now. Show me something spicy. Thought there was going to be a late break move going in towards Dunlop, but no. Neat and tidy as usual from all of these drivers. And keeping an eye on that timing tower. 1.8 between Roman and Christopher means that Roman probably on a bit of a fuel saving strategy. Maybe he's trying to conserve a little bit more fuel to make it to the next stop. Robert comes down pit road. Few drivers in the same pit stop window as Robert, so expect to see them come down in a few moments. I think a lot of the seasoned veterans here won't even find them at a trailer. They're making some backdoor deals happen. Michael come down pit road next. Quiet on the western front here at Fuji, folks. No big shakers, makers, or players here. Hear the roar of this 2.9 liter V6 purr. Half second between Michael and Roman. As I said earlier, finding the rhythm and not making mistakes in the gravel trap. More pit stop calls being made now. This time it's Avery. Next victim coming down pit road. Putting this one pretty well now. We're approaching the 120 mark. Traffic giveth, traffic taketh away, especially in these long endurance events. It's bound to run into traffic that is just no idea what it's doing or slowing down. And it's definitely a slowing down situation. He did that and then immediately walked away. I expected the grid to be a little bit tighter than the way it's sitting right now, especially with the pace that the leaders were showing, just separated by 1/10 overall past Andrew. Andrew got that lead and has not let it go just yet. Next pit stop call will be for Christopher at 1:16. He's out of pit road. The lemon squeezy for all of these guys tonight. Doing a great job of keeping it calm, cool, and collected. 6/10 the gap between Jonathan and Miguel. 107 remaining on the clock, folks. Red, white, and blue versus the red liveried Ferrari. Christopher and Roman separated by a second as well. Setting this one up from a long time now. And hopefully get this one executed in due time. Maybe a run down towards turn one will make things happen for him. 4 cars all in a row. Maybe lap traffic will help also. Getting through 100R with a back marker on the outside line. They did a fantastic job of negotiating that one fair and square. Oh no! Late on the brakes, Christopher runs into Roman at Dunlop Corner. Christopher runs out wide, lets Roman pack through. Gentlemanly-like thing to do. Innocent mistake there. Innocently enough. Oh, and Timothy has spun out in the track. Things are a bit quiet now. Just hearing from race control, the aces are Ali and Andres. Looking at this battle here between Miguel and Jonathan. With 1 hour remaining on the clock. 3/10 separating the two drivers coming down the start-finish straight, leading down in towards turn 1. Might be a little too far back to make this one work, or will he be? Looking for the inside line. He switches over and late on the brakes, but too early on the brakes potentially. Doesn't get the overlap he was looking for. Miguel escapes with his life. Jonathan just being a little bit more cautious there. Didn't want to run anybody off the road through Coca-Cola curve, running a little bit deep and wide. Switch over to the lead battle right now because Lavelle is chasing down Aaron now. Was within a second coming through Panasonic corner. Now it's separated by 1.3. There might be an opportunity now for Lavelle to catch back up. Jonathan still chasing down Miguel. Half a second separating the two drivers. Almost identical lap times between Aaron and Lavelle this time around. Jonathan and Miguel separated by 3/10 also. Pretty nip and tuck here between the pair of them. Coming around Net's corner. Oh no! Miguel has an off. Jonathan follows through with his consistency and gets the move secured. Brief shot of Mount Fuji in the background there. Chris through pit lane now. Eli gains a position up into 15th there. Let's check out the positions gained overall.
Lavelle's gained 1. Michael's down 1. Tyler, the Aces are up 1. Roman down 2. Christopher, Jacob, Jonathan, net 0. Miguel up 2. Robert down 1. Timothy down 1. Big moment there for Jonathan as he mounts over the sausage curbs. Coming through Coca-Cola. Avery net 0. Eli up 2. Chris net 0. Sitting in pit lane. Should be rolling out momentarily. On board with Lavelle. Just want to remind everybody about the Pro Series Challenge going on right now at World of Racing. Make sure you get your qualifying runs in. Amazing race recap video was posted just a few days ago from the Pro Series Challenge that ran on Thursday. Make sure you go check it out. Like, subscribe, ring the bell, all that good stuff. Really exciting, amazing races. I will not go ahead and spoil it for you folks. The format ended up being 2 20-minute races, rolling start, reverse grid for race number 2, as Lavelle is just absolutely sending it through the Coca-Cola curves, getting set up through 100R. Really managing his tires pretty well. You don't see him getting a lot of snapping or oversteering when he hits the accelerator. Doing a great job right now. You can just see underneath the banner on the windscreen the rear tires of Aaron as he closes down the gap at Dunlop and gets set up for nets. He'll be under a second when we get to Panasonic. Aaron just not having that consistency that you would expect from a front runner. And perhaps the tires having a big part to do with this. Whoa, speaking of tires, Lavelle with the tank slapper coming up the Panasonic hill. And that's going to thwart any opportunity that he had to close down the gap. I think he saw a little bit of red in his eyes closing down the gap that much. Getting a little bit excited there. So again, make sure you check out the Pro Series Challenge. That was super exciting. Maybe I'll spill a little bit of the details from the Pro Series Challenge, since it was super exciting. For Heat 1, we had Spencer, Aaron, Andrew for your 1, 2, 3. And then in race number 2, we had William, Ryan, and Kian actually in your 1, 2, 3. And Aaron and Andrew Spencer in 5, 6, and 7. So again, that reverse grid playing a huge part in the way things ended up going. Super interesting to find out about the reverse grid too. It was so exciting and so nail-biting. I could not imagine the excitement. Highly recommend you watch back the VOD. It is on World of Racing's YouTube. Make sure you go back and check it all out, folks. There was a beautiful shot of Mount Fuji that we anticipated seeing coming up the hill through Panasonic. You can see the snow-capped mountains. There it is. Andrew succeeds the lead. Aaron also into pit road. Lavelle, though, inherits the lead now. 55 minutes remaining on the clock. This is going to be telling. Michael also down pit road. Hopefully Lavelle has enough fuel to get one more lap in. This is going to be the most exciting part of the race when the pit stops all negate themselves and we get all the drivers onto that same strategy to make it to the end. This should be a sprint race now, down to the wire, getting it to the checkered flag, folks. The middle part of the race gets a little bit of stagnation going on because everybody's on different strategies. We do see a lot of, whoa, Lavelle making more mistakes when you get to the third sector through Dunlop. Uncharacteristic of him, but just hit that sausage curve wrong, unsettled the car significantly, and he's not going to be able to get the overcut that he is looking for, I don't think. More tiny micro errors from Lavelle. Will he come down pit road this time of asking? He does. Lavelle down pit road. Now, where is Andrew? 14 seconds back. He's definitely going to pass Lavelle. What about Tyler and Aaron? Also going to be able to pass Lavelle. Here's Aaron. 8.1 seconds back. Lavelle still sitting on pit road, stationary. Just finally gets rolling. Aaron will get past him as well, but will it be as close as it was before? It is just as close as it was before. Just about a second and a half separating the two drivers. Less than 1 second, actually. Lavelle within that 1 second range to get some slipstream, but he's got cold tires now. I'm just curious what he'll be able to do on this outlap to close down the gap that's in front of him, or if he'll bide his time knowing that he'll have 1 lap fresher tires to make it to the end. This race has been pretty interesting as far as strategy goes. A lot of early pit stops to knock them out, get it out of the way. And then drivers setting themselves up for a long stint for their last one, rather than going for a splash and dash to make it to the end. Pretty interesting stuff. Not usually something that we see here with World of Racing. Check back to Spa, Bathurst, and a few others, Interlagos to name a few. And you'll notice that the strategies have been quite different there. Most drivers ended up taking late pit stops for splashes and dashes to make it to the end, rather than taking early pit stops, but perhaps track position being everything. Aaron passing Tyler. Lavelle also passing Tyler as he sits in pit lane, just finally taking that stationary time right now. Michael, Roman, Christopher, the aces, Jacob, Jonathan, Miguel, Robert, Timothy, Avery, Eli, Corbin, and Chris. And Chris seemingly down 2 laps right now, and I think that'll be the end of his race. He hasn't taken a DNF yet, but potentially will be. Tyler's still sitting in pit lane. 30 seconds to the next car. There goes Roman Ty. Things are looking pretty spicy at the tip of the spear. Andrew leading over Aaron. 21 seconds goes by. Then Lavelle and Michael. Roman, Christopher, Tyler, the aces, Jacob, Jonathan. There rounds out your top 10. Miguel into pit lane. 50 minutes of asking. And Robert, Timothy, Avery, Eli, Corbin, and then Chris, like we said. $139.5 for Michael as he got to the line. And Roman 19.8 seconds back will cross the line in just a few moments as well. Let's see what his time is. 139.6. Not catching back up to Michael. Not seeing any gaps that are coming down quicker rather than later. Gaps hovering right about where they should be. And more interestingly enough, Lavelle and Aaron's gap has increased to 2.3 seconds. Andrew still leads the charge, the number 21. Positions gained through and through. Andrew, Aaron negated 0. Lavelle up 1. Michael down 1, inverting with Lavelle. Roman back where he started in 5th. Christopher up 2. Tyler down 1. The aces down 1. Jacob, Jonathan, Robert all nil. Miguel up 1. Timothy down 1. Avery right where he started in 14th. Eli's up 2. Corbin's down 1. Andrew getting past a back marker there, who yielded there on the inside of turn 1, knowing that the race leader was coming through. Andrew's been on a rampage this entire event so far. Oh, and Lavelle, huge mistake. Set him back 9 seconds now.
Lavelle and Andrew separated by 9.7 seconds. Oh, scary Code Brown moment as someone was sitting there on the apron runoff at the exit of 100R, excuse me, coming through Coca-Cola Curve. Would have jarred me as well, Lavelle. Christopher in the pits. Loses a few positions there, but he'll surely make it to the end now. $139.585 for Lavelle. That time of asking. Don't forget, folks, if you're interested in World of Racing, make sure you check out worldofracing.com. Find the nearest location to you. Locations all across the United States. 2 in California, 1 in Phoenix, 1 in Kansas City. Get yourself equipped with some of the best high-tech equipment that's out there for sim racing, with full motion Sima Integrale motion rigs, as well as Huskenveld pedals. Just some of the most fantastic people you'll meet, and the staff is phenomenal. Make sure you check out worldofracing.com if any of this interests you, or you want to get involved in some of the race action. Real world prizes are on the line for the Pro Series Challenge right now, and that's something to always look forward to. Turning a passion project into a moneymaker. Always good to do that. Making some money while exercising a hobby of yours. The Pro Series Challenge kicked off last Thursday. And if you missed it, you missed a heck of a show. Racing the Mustang GT3 around Estoril. One of the best races that I've seen in a very long time. Super exciting stuff from start to finish, green to checkered flag. Excitement, overtakes, crashes, mistakes, but a lot of fun to be had nonetheless. Lavelle slipping back, 139s again.
perhaps managing the tires beneath him. Slipping that much further back from Aaron, your P2 runner. But he's attacking still. Coming through Dunlop corner is Lavelle. Attacks the inside curb, rides the high banking here at Fuji. Up the hill we go. Getting set up for Net's corner. Late apex there. Up the hill through Panasonic corner. Got to carry the speed and momentum through all this uphill sections. Otherwise, you're going to lose out coming out of Panasonic. Down the start, finish straight. And in towards turn 1. Oh no! And who was that off? Jacob in P9 was off at 100R. Won't lose a position for the mistake. He's got about half a track length between himself and his nearest opponent. He's definitely further back from Christopher than he was. Nearest car to him will be Michael. Next one to get by. Fourteenth place car of Avery heads down pit road, make their final stop of the evening. Come to a full stop, get their service, and roll back out again. There's Michael getting set up through Coca-Cola. 3.8 seconds away from Lavelle. This will be the closest battle on track right now. Let's see if Lavelle can be mistake-free for the remainder of this event. Because Michael is definitely within attacking range now. Up the hill now through sector 3. Who was that? That was Corbin. Parked it at Dunlop. Trying to get as much slipstream as possible, tucking in behind Jacob in front as he lets off the throttle to allow Michael to attack. 139 there for Michael. Tiny lockup of the brakes at the entrance of Daichi. Just making sure I was pronouncing that corner name right the entire time. It is Daichi, corner 1. And the gap is actually coming down between Lavelle and Michael. 2.6 now. Was 3 just a few moments ago, and we have plenty of time remaining in this event for him to catch back up. Hit you with some Fuji track facts. Did you know Fuji Speedway was initially planned as a NASCAR-style banked oval in the 1960s? Only one bank turn was built before the project was reworked into a full road course. Fuji also hosted F1 races back in the day, 1976, 1977, 2007, and 2008. And the 76 race is legendary for being the title decider between James Hunt and Niki Lauda, dramatized in the movie Rush. Toyota bought the Speedway in 2000 and renovated it. The track is used for development and testing of Toyota and Lexus performance vehicles continuously. Super GT and WEC also make trips here, but it's a staple in Japanese racing, regularly hosting the 6 hours of Fuji Super GT World Endurance Championship. Fuji also has multiple versatile layouts. It has the full GP layout, which we're on today, but it offers several short courses variants for karting, drifting, and time attack events as well. Jacob having another brief red moment flashing in the corner of my eye. Miguel also having that brief moment. 0.8 of a second between Jonathan and Robert, but Robert's in the pits right now. And Jonathan is not, so must be an issue with the timing tower. Because Jonathan is coming around 100R currently. Gap back up between Michael and Lavelle, 3.4 seconds. Roman takes a trip down pit road. Will handily make it to the end with only 32.25 remaining by the end of my spiel. Sitting in pit lane right now is Roman, Timothy, Eli, and Chris. Roman trundling out now. Getting passed by the leader. That was Andrew who just flew by. 6th place off the road by 15.3 seconds. That's the Aces. 139.4 to 139.0 between Lavelle and Michael. Keep an eye on that delta as it flutters from 3.4 to 3.0 now. Battle for third and fourth, I don't believe has been decided just yet. That is not an insurmountable number to get over. With 30 minutes remaining, tenths a lap will still make that one work. And tenths is what he's chopping away at right now like a lumberjack. Michael was just 3.4 seconds a lap previous, now down to 2 and a bit. Let's see what it is when we cross the line. Who's making the mistakes or who's going faster is the question. .140 for Aaron. Okay. That'll be our benchmark when they cross the line. 140.1. 139.1 from Michael. Wowza. A full second faster. That answers that question, folks. Michael is on a rampage as he chases down Lavelle. Battle for P3 and P4. Still up for grabs, that's for sure. Driving the 296 Ferraris here at Fuji, brought to you by World of Racing. Now Michael needs to be mistake-free. If he can keep up that pace, he'll catch up within the next lap or two. Catching is one thing, passing is a whole nother ball game, especially at Fuji. Your only real passing opportunity will be at the end of the start-finish straightaway and leading up into turn 1. Coming through sector 3, Michael not really that much faster on this lap. Until we get to Net's corner, that's where he is gaining a ton of time. .139.9 to a 139.4. So both drivers picking up the pace just a little bit on the previous lap 69 of this 2.4 hour endurance event completed. Dunlop, things are at 1.9. Now through Nets. This is where Michael is surely faster. Not on this lap, stays around 1.9, 2.2 seconds almost. And Michael coming down pit road. What is this about? Were you not able to run a 55-minute stint to the end? Let's see what Michael's pit stop time is going to be. brakes smoking right now. Bit longer than a splash and dash here. He's been down pit road for 30 plus seconds. Full service indeed as he rolls down the road. 40 seconds is the delta. We'll use that as a benchmark. He is nearly 39 and a half seconds back from Lavelle. If he can just get a little bit of help, he will be doing all right. And the darkness is falling here at Fuji with 25 minutes remaining. And we're not seeing temperatures drop, but we are seeing the winds come down. It was at 14 kilometers per hour, now sitting at 6 kilometers per hour. Risky send there from Michael, but he is on a mission to close down that gap before Lavelle can. 39.9 for Lavelle. He definitely increased his pace. Let's take a look at Lavelle now. Oh, getting super squirrely coming through Coca-Cola curve. That's how he's gaining that space between himself and Michael from behind. Not sure that the tires are going to like that very much, that sliding that Lavelle is doing. Definitely see that everybody has their own driving styles and character to the vehicles. Ten seconds from Lavelle to Aaron. Now, I gotta say, Michael has got me worried about the rest of the field, because they pit right around that 55-minute mark, according to my spreadsheet. And I wonder if they can make it to the end now. Desperately wish I could see fuel loads right now from these drivers. To make that determination for them, but unfortunately, Assetto Corsa does not have that intel or data. Same with ACC, even though it's a very modern game. Even LMU, when spectating an event, you can't actually see the virtual energy, which is a disservice because the WEC overlay has it. Of course, we're all looking forward to Assetto Corsa Evo and the future of Assetto Corsa racing, but amazing simulator that is Assetto Corsa, running for nearly 12 years now, if I'm not mistaken, and an amazing platform with fantastic mods such as this that keep it up to date. And Lavelle is into the pits. Lavelle understands the predicament that he's in. He won't be able to make it to the end. About 20 minutes of running before he comes down pit road. Michael was 38 seconds back. If this is a 40-second pit stop from Lavelle, We're going to see a hectic podium finishing battle coming at you. I am shaking right now. I am so excited. Coming around Panasonic corner now. Michael setting this one up fairly well. Lavelle in the pit lane. Almost 30 seconds now. 10 seconds. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. He's rolling. 3, 2, 1. Where comes out Lavelle? The pit limiter is off and he is rolling. And there goes Michael right behind him. 1.4, 1.2, and dropping like a stone. Lavelle will be on ice cold tires. Well, Michael has got a couple laps of heat generated up in them. Lavelle goes a little bit off and deep at Coca-Cola curve. Michael stays on the black stuff, able to maintain the track that he has bought and paid for. The aces in through pit lane. I told you folks to stay tuned for the last segment of the race. I'm definitely glad I did as well, because this is the action that we bought and paid to see. Michael, a little mistake coming through Dunlop, undulates the car aggressively. But Net's corner, where he thrives. And track limits violations not being called out from Lavelle as he crosses the red and white stripes off the exit curbing. .139.5. Michael, absolutely disgusting lap times. What an animal Michael is right now. More track limits violations from Lavelle coming through the exit of Coca-Cola. Michael keeping it clean. Knows that there's no time to be gained by going egregiously wide at the exit of Coca-Cola. Closes down the gap, 0.8 of a second. It is almost fully dark here at Fuji. The floodlights are on. .8 the gap between P4 and P3. Definitely within slipstream range. Identical lap times, 39.530 for the pair of them on the previous occasion. I am grinning from ear to ear right now with excitement, because this is going to be a showdown with the last 17 minutes remaining on the clock. Trying to do commentator math in my head. We're doing 140s basically. We're thinking 8-9 laps remaining. If my math is mathing me.
depends on where Andrew is. When the clock strikes midnight, all hands point north, and the checkered flag flies, or the white flag flies, I should say. Because we could always see the white flag, then the checkered flag on the subsequent lap, or on the same lap. And it could also be on the subsequent lap. Just based on where Andrew decides to cross the line, or when he decides to cross the line. He's got a healthy 29-second gap. He could close this one out if he wanted to, waiting at the line if he doesn't want to keep driving. But no racer that I know would ever do something like that. You race all the way to the bitter end, because you never know what's going to happen. Andrew catching up to lap traffic, the 7th place car of the Aces, and then the 10th place car of Jonathan up in front of him next. We don't want to go anywhere from this battle. Lavelle catching up to Christopher next. Will lap traffic giveth or lap traffic taketh away? And from whom, on what occasion? It is fully dark here at Fuji now, folks. Now, will this car yield before we get down towards turn 1, or will it stay on its racing line? And it looks like it's staying on the racing line for now. Michael getting left in the dust on that previous lap. 1.2 the gap now. Oh, and someone's off. This is going to be, oh, huge. Corbin involved in a huge accident with Christopher. Oh no, hopefully that wasn't physical injury that resulted in that incident, because these are full motion direct drive wheels. Lavelle feel like he didn't even let off the throttle there. Just was able to navigate the incident so cleanly. Same thing for Michael. Both of them in a race of their own and focusing forward, knew where the incident was going to take place and just focused forward. One second, the gap between Michael and Lavelle. Last lap for Lavelle, 1:40.002. Last lap from Michael, 1:39.828. Checking in with the rest of the grid right now. Tyler in P5. Roman in P6. The Aces in P7. Christopher in P8. Jacob in P9. With Jonathan in P10. Robert in 11th. Miguel in 12th. Avery in the pits in 13th. Eli
in 14th and Corbin in 15th, with Timothy and Chris a couple of laps down and resting in pit lane. Back over to the battle with Lavelle and Michael. Again, now Robert, the next contender to come in front of this battling duo. 139.036, 139.306. Tyler Pitts now out from P5. Should get passed by Roman here. And both drivers navigate past Robert with relative ease as he pulled over to the right-hand side and allowed the lead drivers to pull right on through. Gap's back down to 0.8 of a second, but climbing. Fluttering right around 0.9 of a second. 139.6, 139.3. I think Lavelle feels the heat is on. Michael trying to chase as much as possible. Coming up the hill through Dunlop Corner. 0.9 separates the pair. Love the sound of these V6 engines. They sound so fierce. Brake ducts are glowing right now. Brake discs, I should say. A set of Corsa models are so fantastic in this game. Unbelievable stuff. Such an old game with such realistic views and physics. Such a phenomenal program. Look at that screenshot. Beautiful cars, beautiful sounds. Beautiful sights here underneath the foothills of Mount Fuji. 7:11 left to go on the clock. And the podium has not been fully decided yet, folks. And we still don't know if Aaron needs to pit before the end of this race. Michael is just hovering around the same lap times over and over again, chasing down Lavelle. 139.2 for Aaron. 139.1, 139.1. They are just blow for blow right now, matching each other's pace. Nearly identical lap times again. Lavelle really picking it up this time around, showing us what he is made out of, showing us that he deserves to have this third step of the podium. 82 grueling laps around the Fuji Speedway for this 2.4-hour event. And the drivers have not faltered or failed in any way, shape, or form. Making it to the checkered flag is the real prize here in these endurance events, and they're doing a good job. Well, let's check out that battle between Tyler and the Aces as well. As I was so fixated on this battle, we have another battle brewing up to be something. The GTM Max Verstappen car chasing down the shell bannered car. Three-tenths the separator between the Aces and Tyler. Going for a move at 300R. The long way around the outside is a bit sketchy, but he's going to put the big squeeze on the shell bannered car. The AirNet vehicle can't find the gap to the inside line, but the Aces leave enough room there for him just in case. They're going to go completely side by side through Sector 3. Switchback engage for Tyler. But that outside-inside maneuver only works in some instances, and it's not working on this opportunity. He's got to stay close through Panasonic Corner and all the way down towards Turn 1. He's going to get this set up with a nice long run of it. He looks like he's a lot further back than he actually is. He's going to close down, but they're both headed towards the pit wall right now. Neither one of them are coming down pit lane. Tyler closing down the gap very easily, and the Aces trying to cover off the inside line. Got a wheel well along the inside. A little bit of door banging on that wheel well, and it looks like the Aces have gone a little bit deep and overcooked it, but Tyler snaps right back with the correct braking line, and they're going to go completely side by side yet again through Coca-Cola Curve. This could end in tears for fears, folks, but not from these drivers, not at World of Racing. These are some of the most expert drivers you've ever seen, and they are phenomenal at putting on a good show for us, and that was an amazing overtake from a long way coming. Tyler secures the position of P6 for now. The Aces will want to snap back sooner rather than later to clinch that one back, but we've only got 2 minutes and 20 seconds remaining on the clock. We will get this lap plus one more if I'm not mistaken, as Andrew is coming through the hairpin now. Update on Michael and Lavelle, separated by 2.2 seconds now. Opening up by quite a bit. Both drivers posturing to the inside wall. 1.1 seconds, the gap between the aces and Tyler. The number 69 leads the duo. 40 seconds remaining. I don't believe we will get a bonus lap. Andrew has put on a phenomenal drive here tonight for World of Racing at the Speedway of Fuji, under the foothills of Mount Fuji. Done an amazing job from green to checkered flag. Well-deserved victory for Andrew. A masterclass at what he does, and that's race hard, race fair, race fast. Great job from Andrew tonight. The number 21 will bring it home in first place. The checkered flag is his to grab, and the champagne will be enjoyed tonight. Andrew, finishing up lap 86, will bring home P1. Or there it is. Little bit of a delay. Aaron in P2, 5.4 seconds back, will be Lavelle in P3. Michael only 2.9 seconds back, will be in P4. Waiting for Roman to finish up his lap as he approaches Net's corner. Up the hill through Panasonic. Roman in P5. Tyler will take home P6 in the number 69 Max Verstappen car with a late move on the aces. Then the aces in P7, Christopher in P8, Jacob in P9, Jonathan in P10, Robert in 11th, Miguel in 12th, Avery in 13th, Eli, Corbin, Timothy, Chris. Round out the 17 drivers that finished up the race tonight. Let's head back over to the booth, folks, and we'll close things out for you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining us. Thank you very much for staying tuned for the duration of the 2.4 hours of Mount Fuji. It's been a heck of a time. I've enjoyed it from green to checkered flag. I've been your host, Sagar Bakshi, brought to you by AK Esports and the World of Racing headquarters. This has been a fantastic showing of things. Join us next month for another fantastic endurance event where we'll take you from green to checkered flag yet again. Don't forget about the Pro Series Challenge as well, running every Thursday, where they have real money prizes on the line for the victors of the event. Fastest lap money gets awarded as well, so don't forget to enter. Even if you don't think you can win on the race alone, there's always fastest lap money to be had also. Thank you very much for enjoying. Thank you very much for staying tuned. It's been a pleasure. As always, please remember to stay safe out there. Have a good night, friends.